All right. Today is Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. Going to outstanding 113 tasks. There were two outstanding items for 113 that we still have. One is to clean up the README for the cluster driver registrar. That is currently in progress, and there's a PR out. Next is updating the Kubernetes CSI docs. I believe Saad is still working on this. Let's see if it's still work in progress. Okay, looks like he still has some more changes. We'll continue reviewing it. Hopefully we can get this in soon. All right, going up to miscellaneous topics. Yes, we covered some of these last time. Jan, do you want to go through these?
Jan, are you on mute? No, he's gone. See?
Oh, he's gone?
I am
Oh.
He's there. I see him.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, crappy. Zoom. Okay, so I have a pull request to create a group. And it's basically waiting for review on this meeting. If we are fine with the name, and if we need it also in Kubernetes/Kubernetes. And the group is called CSI-this. So, is the group name looking okay? Do we need to add somebody there?
Let's see. Does this have the Kubernetes CSI prefix to it?
Yes, it will have Kubernetes CSI prefix.
I mean, this sounds fine with me. Does anyone else have any opinions?
Yeah, I think you need to do a rebase because.
Yeah, I will do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Because they added my name, because you also added the same line in the skill.
Yeah, maybe I will rebase it. That's not a problem.
Yeah, the name sounds fine to me.
Okay. So I will rebase it and push it forward tomorrow.
All right. Awesome.
Looks good.
Next is the common connection function and default timeout.
I am working on that with Patrick. We came to conclusion that on the last meeting the initial connect should be blocking forever until the driver appears and creates socket. And yeah, I have a pull request for that. Patrick is adding unit tests. And there's one interesting question. What should we do when driver disconnects or dies or something?
I think we discussed that last time, and the conclusion was that under that circumstance, the driver should just restart. The code caching line item that comes up next relies on that basically the driver or the sidecar gets reinitialized each time the CSI driver itself restarts.
Yeah, but can we detect that reliably? Did you try it?
I think we can detect it reliably using the approach that I have in my update for your branch. With a custom dialer, we can just prevent that gRPC ever gets another connection.
Excellent. So that is working, right?
That is working. It passes my test, and I don't see how it can fail. The caveat is that means the sidecars must be aware of this unavailable status code. So basically, if they get an error from a gRPC call to the CSI driver, they need to do error checking and instead of entering a retry loop. And if that error code is this unavailable code from gRPC, then they know that the CSI driver has stopped and that they basically need to take action. Some other action than just retrying the gRPC call, because the gRPC call will never go through that connection ever again.
I'm not sure that's going to work with all our sidecars. We need to check all the method calls and their return codes.
Yeah, the alternative is to just do a hard exit when we see that we need to reconnect. But that's I think the more intrusive solution.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is it possible to have a wrapper around every RPC call that can check for this error code?
And what the check will do? It will exit? What else can it do?
I guess for this particular error code, it would have to exit.
Yeah, so we can put it into the dialer directly. If it is called for the second time after it connected, then it could exit by itself.
Is there anything in Kubernetes that can do this? If it, like some liveness probe or readiness probe?
Well, yeah, we can do that. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Well, you can do the liveness probe.
Yeah, but what's then the reaction if a liveness fails, or what's
the container is restarted.
Okay, but that's the same as just doing a hard quit.
Yeah.
It's basically killing the process, and we can do that ourselves. We don't need any mechanism in Kubernetes for that.
Yeah, that's right.
Because eventually the container will just get a SIG kill and will be dead. So that's not really that different.
This sounds like the some of the code that I did, like right when we had this issue. Is there a new PR for this? And it sounded like I was trying to target that same issue.
Yeah.
Right before 114 or something like that.
There is a new one. I think it's. Okay. I don't know whether it's linked. It's the first one. This pull request in CSI libutils.
Oh, the 11.
Yeah, I pinged you on that because I knew that you were working on that. You might just have a look at that pull request and see how it compares to your solution. It's I think it's, from what I remember from your solution, it's considerably simpler. It's really just one connect function which blocks and then returns. And when I'm adding this particular feature that it doesn't reconnect, but that's just a small tweak to the custom dialer in that function.
Yeah, I remember running into the same issue because at one point you have to look at the error code coming up, and then once you give up, you exit the process and it automatically starts again. So you can get into issues where you have flapping going on if what you're trying to dial to is never ready. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at that again and see if I can add any value to it.
I have another argument against checking unavailable error code, because I look at the library, gRPC updates return in some cases. I don't know what they mean. It's not always that the driver disconnects. There are also some gRPC things that cause unavailable to be returned.
Yeah, unavailable or unreachable. I'm looking at the document and I wrote unreachable. I'm actually not sure what it is at the moment. I'm probably was a bit confused whether it's unreachable or unavailable.
I think that is only unavailable.
When it's unavailable, yeah. Yeah,
So
that's a good question. Whether that error code is really unambiguous,
yeah.
I don't know, or whether it's unambiguous for Unix domain sockets.
I mean, what do you do then when if it's unavailable and you exit the process, it'll get restarted right away and then restart the cycle?
Then it will block. The restarted process will block and it will retry. That's part of semantic of this new connect function.
All right, yeah, that sounds like about what I did in the other PR. Yeah, but I'll take a look.
So I guess we'll need to consider this error handling question a bit more. I'm a bit time pressured today, so I'd like to move on if we can. On the other hand, what do I have? Perhaps I'll just drop off. I think I've this other thing that I wanted to raise is Flat's pull request for the host path driver.
All right. I did merge your changes.
Yeah. I think it's ready to go in. Now we have a technical problem that we need to get it merged by the bots, or someone needs to push to the repository directly because the CLA check is failing. I left some comments in that, and I think we need someone with really high priority. Sorry, it's late for me. English is the first thing I lose in the evening. We need with some sufficient privileges in the repo to do something, and even SAD might not have them anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll take a look to see if there's anything I need to do. But I appreciate the code that you put in there for to automatically pull the version from the YAML.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that addresses the concern that I had. It would be good. I'm raising that point because there are other people planning changes for the host path driver. Sunny, he's in the meeting here, has some things that basically need to rebased onto that repository, but that means we need to get the initial code in first.
Okay.
So it would be good to accelerate that and see whether you and Saad can figure out something.
Yeah, I'll give it some priority. I had taken a detour to do the other task for this quarter, but I'll go back in and try to get it done today.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just walk through. I'll just mention the things that I still have open pull requests, Michelle. If you can look at those sometime again, that'd be really nice. I did update.
List them? Can you list them somewhere here so I know which ones to look at?
Yeah, the same as last time, I think. So perhaps not that. It's the external attacher common build rule thing where I want to know how to proceed. Anyway, it's somewhere in the inbox. I have one last question to the entire team. It's a big roll call, short roll call. Do we call these things CSI driver or CSI plugin? What do you prefer? Because we are just horribly inconsistent both inside our own drivers and elsewhere. I was just wondering whether there's any opinion.
Both, I think. Yeah, it's kind of.
I think driver is what's in the official documentation, the spec. I might be wrong.
No, you are wrong. The spec says plugin.
Oh.
Everyone else seems to talk about driver.
Yeah, we have already had this discussion, and the spec uses plugin, but since we already have CSI plugin Kubernetes, and it means something completely different, we are using a driver in Kubernetes.
Okay,
And
so
we
if
should
you
be
are
consistent about that.
okay. So if you are more Kubernetes focused, then driver makes more sense. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I can live with that. But,
plugin is something else in Kubernetes.
yeah. Okay, I'll take that as a feedback, and thanks. I need to drop off. It's already too late. I got my kids today. So thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Paul.
So, okay, going back to Jan's items, we talked about this one already. It's kind of related.
Yeah, I think either I have code or already it has been merged. I will finish this. I don't think we have anything to discuss. Here,
All right.
yeah, I just need to write the code.
And then the next is the provisioning failures.
I think that's already been discussed last time.
Okay.
I have a nice table of gRPC error codes, and what do we do if we assume the volume could be provisioning or not?
Okay. I'm going to remove these, I guess, since we've already discussed. Cool. All right.
And the leaking volumes, Matthew started redesigning the provisional library, so that's in progress. And I have one additional item.
Hello?
Time. So do we have volunteer or no? I can't do it this week.
Oh, sorry, you you dropped off for the first 30 seconds or so. Can you repeat?
Sorry. So glog versus klog. Should we move to klog?
Sorry, should we move what?
Logging from glog to klog.
Oh, I don't have any strong preference either way.
Are we using klog somewhere, anywhere in any of our external components?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
At least not in CSI, far as I know.
Do we see? Does klog offer anything better than glog?
No, I don't think so.
Is Kubernetes proper moving to klog? Because I've seen it sporadically.
Yeah, it is.
I see. Maybe it makes sense then. I mean,
but
I don't think it's critical.
Long term, we should. But do we have capacity to do it now?
Yeah.
It looks like I saw some PR from Humble.
Oh.
That was converting everything to klog.
That's bad. Okay, I can ask Humble if he wants to drive it.
Sure. I mean, I don't see I don't have a particular strong reason either way, but if he wants to work on that, then sure.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, moving down to 114 items. All right, so moving the CSI objects to beta. Xing, do you want to give an update on the discussion we had yesterday?
Yeah, so we had a meeting with Tim Hawken, Tim St. Clair, Jordan, and Justin, right? Yeah. So talked about how to deploy the CRDs and webhooks, and the conclusion is that we'll have 2 action items out of that. Tim is going to put together some proposal on how to do this. So Tim Hawken is going to work with this other team, and Jordan and Justin, and they will look at different options and then bring that up to SIG architecture for some more input. And then from SIG storage side, we just want to look at if there is a, actually I need to bring up the notes. Basically look at if the CRT is not installed, and then if we want to do migration, how do we better handle the failure? So I think that's the action item for the SIG storage. Yeah, those are the 2 main things coming out of that. So we need to follow up with them.
Yeah.
Their proposal.
So, so David, Saad, and I had a brainstorming session on this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
On if we could redesign migration to be able to handle the CRDs, the CRDs not being installed at initialization. And our conclusion is that there is potentially a way, but it's pretty hacky and it doesn't really solve the CRD problem. It's just working around the CRD problem by using in-tree objects.
So basically you just fall back to use the in-tree driver.
Yeah, so the main challenge is that we need a way to know if we need a way to coordinate attach between the controller and kubelet. And if the CRDs are not installed at kubelet initialization time and has the capability of being installed later, then that opens up the hole where you might be able to attach it using the old way, and then the driver gets initialized on kubelet, and kubelet needs a way to know which way the volume was attached to it. So we were brainstorming an idea where like we can store how it was attached in the volume attachment object. But I think after and we when we were walking through it, it seemed feasible. But like in the end, we concluded that we're just basically hacking around this by storing the information we need in the in-tree object because we can't store it in the CRD.
Okay, then probably they still don't like it, right? Because
yeah.
They don't want this in-tree.
Can we just make any volume operations failing until these CRDs are installed?
Yeah, so I think the challenge is the detached controller needs a way to determine whether or not migration is enabled on kubelet versus is migration enabled but the driver is not installed yet. And
I think we had a CSI info for that.
Yeah, so
and until that exists, the detached controller can fail.
Well, I think the problem is that we can't tell the difference between a node being old enough that migration is not turned on versus migration is turned on, but the driver is not installed yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the bit. That's the bit that we're missing, and that was the bit that we're adding to the CSI node info object. And yeah, So that's the crux of the problem. So like we basically determined, okay, we have a potential solution that works around the lack of a CRD by putting stuffing information in our entry objects. But that's probably not really, it's not really fitting in our long-term direction, I guess. And so as a workaround, we were contemplating maybe we can just go ahead and modify the deployment tools for the specific environments that we are going to migrate the drivers for. So like we're targeting GCE PD and AWS EBS drivers for the initial phase of migration. So we should just fix all the deployment tools that we support for those platforms so that
And those are also in kubeadmin and COP,
yes.
right?
Yeah, so we'll have to we'll just modify those.
But then we need that means we go back to Tim St. Clair, who said this should not be part of
it. So I mean that's the thing, right? So like so David is gonna write up a short blurb summary about our design discussion that we had and why the options that we have. We're gonna present it to those guys, and like realistically, a general solution is not gonna make 114. So
seems to be
if we want to still deliver this in 114, we need to consider some workaround. And, we can argue that considering that the real solution is not going to, come in time, like they need to either allow us to do these workarounds or we have to end up delaying the migration. So, David's going to write up a doc and present it to those folks and see which option they are good with.
So CSI topology also depends on this, right? On the CRD. So should we delay the beta as well?
Yes. So we'll need, as part of our document and our proposal for the plan, we'll have to under the option to delay the beta, we'll have to, list all the ramifications of that. What does it mean if we actually delay the beta? Oh, but actually, hold on. So, I think we can still move the objects to beta. Well, so there's two cases, right? There's the migration case where we are requiring CSI node info to be installed on kubelet startup. But then there's just the non-migration case where you just are using a CSI driver, and that should work. I mean, well, we have to require that you install the CRDs, but it doesn't have quite the same restrictions as migration in terms of node initialization.
Right, but I thought there were some concerns around the E2E tests being able to work, like the test tools.
Yeah, that's right. So regardless to move to beta, like if we want our tests to pass on those deployment tools, right, then we still have to modify those deployment tools, or we could just skip running CSI if you deploy using the deployment tools that we did not modify. That's also an option.
So if we want to get to beta, then I think the E2E tests need to be running using the tools that are used today to deploy the tests, right? Like kubeadm, I assume.
Yeah, so I mean, the option is that if they don't want us to modify their tools to install these CRDs and they want to wait for the general solution, then if we still want to make these objects beta, we would just have to skip the CSI tests for QBAD and COPS.
Yes, the COPS test is still failing, but I don't see the Cube admin test. It's maybe not even running.
I think it's optional.
Okay.
Yeah. But I suspect if you actually went, if you went and manually ran the optional test, it would fail.
Mm. Okay.
But okay, so that's another option. Let's see. Let's see, let me summarize this. Our two options are, or wait for okay. I think those are our three main options that we have. So David will send out a doc for us, and he'll include everyone on the doc so we can review it before we go and present it to others. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Inline volumes. I think we still had some design questions about this. Vlad, were you going to try to summarize what's still remaining?
So what happened last week while I was out, there was a request for a KEP from whoever was responsible for KEPs. So I started I'm taking what the existing design document from earlier and transferring it to a KEP. As far as the questioning or the questions for the roadblocks for what remains to be resolved. Hopefully, going through the exercise, I'm hoping that we can find a way around it. But basically, the one thing that the one issue that still remains, I think what I'll do is as I wrap up the KEP in the next couple of days, I'll reach out to Jan and see if if there are any way we can come up with a workaround for the one issue. And that one issue is how to propagate namespace during the cycle when it's not available, which is basically the attach phase. And that namespace is needed later on down the line in the storage cycle. And that was basically the big roadblock that we encountered. So I'll re-socialize that and see if we can come up with anything as far as a workaround.
All right. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Snapshots.
So I actually submitted a cap for execution hook. Get a lot of review comments. I need to sync up with Jean. So I think it's going to be pretty complicated because Tim added comments too. Basically, they want this to be a more generic hook. Then we need to add more use cases and also need to write down all the details like error handling, who's going to do this part, who's going to do that part. So it's going to take some effort. Yeah. So he actually started some thread a long time ago, like 2 years ago.
Okay.
About something around this, not for snapshotting, but it's just like generally sending some requests to a pod. So he put that link there. So I'm just looking at that. There's a lot of discussions there.
Okay. Is also someone from the SIG apps on reviewing the CAP?
It's from, I see there's someone, it might be from Harry John. Is he from the Node team or I don't know what team he's from. He is also reviewing. And then Tim added Jordan's name there. I don't know if there's anyone from the apps.
Okay. It would be good to maybe, I'll ask Jing knows about this CAP, right?
Well, yeah, well, this was happening, I think I put this one there during the long weekend. So I did send her a message. She hasn't responded yet, so I need to sync up with her, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know Jing has been working with some people from SIG apps.
She did talk to someone. I don't know if I don't know the names of those people. I don't know if they are here. Maybe not. Yeah, I know she talked to workload team some time ago.
Okay.
I don't know about.
It'd be good to sync up because I think SIG apps is also working on their own sort of execution hook thing. So it might be good to make sure we're all aligned on the same thing. So.
Yeah, sure.
All right, great. Let's see. The next couple items were kind of cleanup items from last release. I guess, let's see, we have the read-only stuff, but I guess we don't really have people to look at this yet. Vlad, do you still have cycles to drive this refactoring cleanup? I know you're working on the inline volumes and the host path stuff.
There's a group of PR, I think it's in this document further down. I have reached out to some Pivotal folks who are interested in doing some cleanup. I think they still are. I'll ping them again to see how deep they can get involved this quarter and get them. I've been trying to get them to attend this meeting, but I'll reach back again to see what's going on with it.
All right, awesome, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, Patrick's items we talked about. I think we have, let's see, for these remaining items, tests. So I guess we need tests for the cluster driver registrar. I talked to Jose and he said he would be interested in looking at this. And then Xing, there's the snapshot PRs are still in progress?
It is, yeah. So I just synced up with my coworker yesterday. So he's still going through those test errors. So he said giving him a couple more days to get it done because Patrick was pinging me and ask us when this can be done because he has a few things that he's going to do some big restructuring changes, right? So we'd like to get this one in first because otherwise we need to rebase again.
Yeah. So Snapshot is alpha. So these tests actually should have like a feature tag on them so they don't run by default.
Okay. There's a feature gate, right? So we can use the feature gate, or is there some different?
No, the tests have their own thing. They have
okay. So I'll see. I'll take a look and see if there is a tag there.
Yeah, because actually, like what am I thinking? These jobs technically should not be failing because these tests should not be running in them. Although we do want to make sure.
It's actually weird. Yeah, But the GC may, because you do have support for snapshots, so maybe it will just run. I don't know. But COPS and AWS,
Well, I think the main thing is that I guess it's technically an alpha feature, but it's kind of independent from Kubernetes. So actually, like you could technically test snapshots against a non-alpha Kubernetes cluster.
Okay, so maybe I'll see how to add a tag, and then if we add the tag, maybe just it won't run those other things that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll add the tag. If we add the tag, it won't run in the default. It won't run in the default suites, but then it'll end up failing the alpha suites. So either way, like we should, you
still need to look into those errors.
Yeah.
See. Okay. All right. So we'll continue with this.
Okay. And actually, it looks like he's only adding the snapshot test for host path driver. Is that right?
It is, yeah, because he doesn't have the environment for GC, right? So I think at that time we.
Okay. So looking at these test failures, he's running it against the V0 host path driver.
Which is V0?
Which is the 0.4 driver.
Oh, so maybe he was running with the wrong version.
I don't know if like the.
Oh, so maybe, okay, so I'll check that. I didn't know
double check
drivers. Then that probably makes sense. It's going to fail. But that will fail everything though. This seems to be not really failing everything. It's like if a few tests failed.
It's failing I don't know how many snapshot tests he's adding. It's at least failing one of the snapshot tests.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so so I will check the version, see if that's the issue. If that's the issue, then it's an easy fix.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then the last item is the external provisioner issues. I think we talked about this earlier already. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up? All right, then we will meet up again on Friday. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, bye.